Science Process Skill, Form 3. Chapter 5. Aim: to study endothermic and exothermic reactions. Problem statement: does an endothermic reaction occur when the temperature of mixture decreases while an exothermic reaction occur when the temperature of mixture increases? Hypothesis: an endothermic reaction involves the absorption of heat from the surroundings and causes the decrease in the surrounding temperature, whereas exothermic reaction involves the release of heat to the surroundings and causes the surrounding temperature to increase. Variables: manipulated, types of chemical substances, responding, increase or decrease in temperature, constant, quantity of chemical substances. Apparatus: 20 ml beaker, spatula, glass rod, thermometer, sodium hydroxide crystals, ammonium chloride powder and distilled water. Procedure: pour 10 ml of distilled water into a beaker. Measure and record the initial temperature of the water. Feel the outer wall of the beaker with your hands and record your findings. Put a spatula of sodium hydroxide crystals into the beaker. Stir the mixture with a glass rod so that all the crystals dissolve. Measure and record the final temperature of the mixture. Feel the outer wall of the beaker with your hands and record your findings. Repeat steps 1 to 5 using ammonium chloride powder. How to do it? These are the steps. 10 ml of distilled water is poured into a beaker. The initial temperature of the water is measured and recorded. The outer wall of the beaker is felt with hands and the findings are recorded. A spatula of sodium hydroxide crystals is put into the beaker. The mixture is stirred with a glass rod so that all the crystals are dissolved. The final temperature of the water is measured and recorded. The outer wall of the beaker is felt with hands and the findings are recorded. Steps 1 to 5 are repeated using ammonium chloride powder. Results: for sodium hydroxide crystals plus distilled water, the initial temperature is 31 degrees Celsius and the final temperature is 39 degrees Celsius. So, the changes in temperature is plus 8 degrees Celsius. The outer wall of beaker is hot. For ammonium chloride powder plus distilled water, the initial temperature is 31 degrees Celsius and the final temperature is 27 degrees Celsius. So, the changes in temperature is minus 4 degrees Celsius. The outer wall of beaker is cold. Discussion: when the reaction between sodium hydroxide crystals and distilled water occurs, the temperature increases because the heat is released to the surroundings. When the reaction between ammonium chloride and distilled water occurs, the temperature decreases as the heat is absorbed from the surroundings. Which reaction involves heat loss? Give reasons. The reaction between sodium hydroxide crystals and distilled water involves heat loss to the surroundings. So, the wall of the beaker turns hot and there is an increase in temperature. Which reaction involves heat gain? Give reasons. The reaction of ammonium chloride and distilled water involves the gaining of heat from the surroundings. So, the wall of the beaker turns cold and there to decrease in temperature. Conclusion: the hypothesis is accepted. An endothermic reaction is a chemical reaction that involves the absorption of heat from the surroundings. An exothermic reaction is a chemical reaction that involves the release of heat to the surroundings. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe my channel.